Your Honor, we are here today because a child is dead. A 3-year-old child, an innocent child who had no say in the way that she was treated or in the decisions that her parents made for her. This child's name was Jewel, and she is no longer here because of the actions and utter inaction of the defendants. Little Jewel will never get to grow up, go to school, learn, go to prom, go on dates, go to the movies, or go to college. She will never have the opportunity to fall in love, get married, or raise a family. She will not have the opportunities that every child should have because her life was cut far too short. Today you've heard testimony from many witnesses, including the defendants, Asia and Jamar. In this testimony, you heard that Jewel was a very sick child who suffered from severe asthma and stomach issues for the years of her short life. Yes, she was a very sick child, but what you must remember is that little Jewel also suffered injuries that were not biological in nature. You heard testimony that stated that she was brought to hospitals and doctors' offices on many separate occasions with suspicious injuries, like her mysterious head injury that just didn't add up when her mother tried to explain what happened. You also heard testimony that suggests that this little girl was abused for many years and was mistreated for most of her life, if not all of it. Her mother brought her in and out of doctors' offices and hospitals and was extremely experienced with young Jewel's health issues. And she also testified that Jewel was able to communicate with her when something was wrong or when she was in pain. She was also able to tell how Jewel was feeling with how sick she was. Now, in all of the experience that the defendant, Miss Asia, had with bringing Jewel in and out of hospitals and doctors all the time, she failed to recognize that something was seriously wrong with Jewel the night before she was killed. This does not add up. Jewel's mother has changed her story, forgotten pieces of it, backtracked, changed her story again and again, and she can't seem to remember events correctly. Now, the defense has tried to tell you that this is grief and this forgetfulness is due to her mourning of a mother's loss and a mother's love. But this is yet another piece of this puzzle that just does not add up. Just like when her mother brought her into the doctor with that mysterious head injury, she had excuse after excuse time and time again for little Jewel's injuries. Now, the autopsy report stated that little Jewel had a lacerated liver and severe liver damage, as well as other internal damages and 2 broken ribs. Now, do those sound like injuries related to asthma or to vomiting or just Jewel's sickly nature? After the autopsy report came out, investigators determined that Jewel's death was a homicide. Because of their expertise and knowledge in this area, they knew that these were not typical injuries for a child. They knew these were not typical injuries even for a sickly child. These were injuries of abuse. Lacerated liver and extensive liver damage. 2 broken ribs. Your Honor, these are not typical injuries of a child. These are serious, and these are deadly. Now, the state has had the burden to prove to you, through clear and convincing evidence, that the defendants should not have custody over Jemiah, Jewel's sister. And we believe that we have met that burden in this case by showing you that Jewel's life ended because of the abuse, mistreatment, neglect, carelessness of the defendants. Clearly, they are not fit to raise little Jemiah, just as they were not fit to raise Jewel. Jewel's life was cut short, and she is dead because of the defendants. Now, Jewel didn't have a choice. She didn't get any options. She was a child whose precious life is over because of two people. Because of the actions of two people, Jewel doesn't have a future. A child is dead. But Your Honor, you do get to have a choice. You get to make a decision. You have that power. You have the power to determine what happens to little Jemiah. You get to make the choice that will determine her future. She's young and full of so much life and potential. Please don't let Jemiah be subject to the same fate as little Jewel. Please take her out of this situation of neglect and abuse before it's too late. Please terminate the parental rights of the defendants. Give Jemiah a future. Thank you.